And we'll see a throw in at centre wing.
Quite an encouraging crowd here too at Adelaide Oval this afternoon. Very important game, particularly for Central Districts. Norsworthy to half forward. Palmer and Duckworth, that'll be a good duel. Palmer flicking it out in front of David Earl. The boundary line beats him, so a throw in to take place on Central District's half forward line, as I said, going to the Torrens end.
Duckworth, Bennett. Rain beginning to slant down at Adelaide Oval. The long kick from Duckworth to the goal square. It's not straight, it goes through for a point as the crowd scatters to the shelter of the stands. And there's the first score on the board. Central District's 1 point, South Adelaide yet to score, and it'll be Brooksby to kick in.
Fortunately, the rain coming almost on cue as the game starts. Back into play. Over the top went Peter Bytheen. And at the bottom again, his immediate opposition in Andrew Bennett. An encouraging start for him. Jonas used the body, then tried to pluck it in with the one hand. Put out in front of Richard Cochrane, but again, hugging the boundary line, and another throw in to take place.
21, beat Bytheen. Coming in late is Baines. Linky behind him, the handball forward. Cochrane, trouble, meeting him, White. To Gillies. Butler after him. Well tackled. Down. Eddie Fry coming a long way from the pocket. McClay unloads him. The left footer put out by Graham Schultz is wide towards the wing. Towards Jonas. Baines after him. Putting the ball up high. Pryor. All the handball cut off beautifully. Gary Mousley. Out towards centre wing and Hately on the chest.
Ron Hately was a questionable starter. Had a slight strain on a hamstring. 15 metres though, and last time these two sides met at Adelaide Oval, Hately from the wing had a field day, booting something like 8 goals. Here's Vivian. Now Richard Cochrane, well tackled, opening the door for Eddie Fry. He goes short, or not a good ball to Philip Cox. He'll have to work hard. Fry goes in to see if he can give assistance again, but Philip Cox, with no doubt a wry grin on the face, thank you very much, a free kick 40 metres out directly in front.
The breeze has dropped since the rain started. Conditions at the moment perfect for football. Adelaide Oval as usual, a picture. As Cox goes long into the pocket. It will be Chris McClay, who's come a long way from his centre position for a throw in. Gathering will be Bytheen. Brooksby at the back, Mackay. Tap forward, Wilbur Wilson's good to Harrington, who kicks long to centre wing. Palmer, the spoil from Mobbs. He recovers though. Edge of the square goes short, accurately too. Picks out Mike Stevens well. Or short again. Van Dommel, and there's a fine mark.
Rene Van Dommel, almost at the true centre half forward spot. Short. Duckworth. Bracegirdle is warming up on the sideline for South Adelaide. In fact, the interchange is being made now. Robin White, he was one of the players who was suffering from flu for some time, and he could be a little doubtful. The kick by Duckworth is good. First goal on the board to Central Districts. 1-1-7, leading South yet to score on sevens. Big replay.
Well, indicative, 1-1 to Duckworth. The ball moved from the full back line from Harrington to centre wing, down towards Duckworth, and he made no mistake, just shaved the right side of the post, through for a major score, and Central Districts have all the numbers on the board at the moment, 1-1, and South yet to post a score.
Centre bounce, Bytheen and Bennett to do battle. It's won by Peter Bytheen. Bracegirdle, a touch, but it allows Jonas through. Palmer, beautifully tackled, but gets it to Mousley. Puts it out wide, giving Stevens the chance for Centrals. He won't get away from Philip Cox. Vivian and Slattery. Well done, Peter Vivian. In towards half forward, but no one at home there for Central Districts, and it'll be David Earl.
Fine mark too with the conditions as they are. Changes directions at the last moment. Straight down the centre. Harrington, Fry, Mousley. Support, the handball's good. Palmer, he'll have to get his kick. Gets the handball instead to Baines with plenty of time. Looks, goes short, looks for full forward, coming out. Brooksby, the handball. Fry No one at home, he puts it up but drifts it right away from the face of goals for the Panthers' first score. 1 point from Eddie Fry, Central District's 1-1, and we've played 7 minutes of the first term.
Ian McKay lining up at fullback today. Bill Cochran out of the side, and there's someone else with an injury problem in Stevens. Puts the kick back into play. Richard Cochran plays on quickly, or the handball too swift for Chris McLeod. Allows Slattery in. He dummies, has a look, going short. The lead is on from Big Hawkins. Brooksby it is, who flicks it back, going right across the face of goal. Harradine over the line, he goes with Mark Pryor. A pushing was the call, and it will go against Harradine and to Mark Pryor.
Pryor, who's had an excellent season so far. Stevens being attended by a trainer who called for tape. Here's the drop punt to half forward. Coming out, Bytheen. Tumbling one down towards the duck, who takes the handball quickly over. The running Jeff Gillies out wide, looking for Dean Mobbs on his half-forward line. Plenty of time. Mousley shrugged off as he goes straight to the goal face. A perfectly placed kick from Dean Mobbs for a 1 goal.
Great passage of football by Central Districts, and capped off by their captain coming back into the side for a good goal.
Yes, and wasn't it a good movement too? The player was spotted out wide. Mousley just couldn't have the pace to catch him. Mobbs ducking and weaving, made the kick. It was true, straight through the centre, his first, and we find Lee Stone on and Mike Stevens off.
So a good start by the Bulldogs visiting Adelaide Oval today. The centre bounce duel will be between Peter Bytheen of Central Districts and Andrew Bennett of South Adelaide. A bounce that favours Bennett. Chris McClay, or soccer through him by Philip Collins. Play allowed to go on to half forward. Cox and Wilson both misjudge it. At the back is Brooksby. Brooksby's left foot wobbly old kick is going to dribble over the line, and a throw in to take place in the right forward pocket.
South Adelaide have got plenty of movement at the moment. They're just not getting it across their half-forward line. Neither are they getting out of the square, although Andy Bennett is dominating the rucks. It's the throw. Brooksby, Harrington, the back. McKay forced to go for the tap towards Cox and Hately. Collins. Wilbur Wilson steamrolls Hately as he drives at the ball. Hately the winner, and he's going to take a kick from about 50 metres out. This will be a critical kick for Hately. Muscle still not warm. Didn't pull the kick, however. That's land in the square. Cochrane, Linky. Taken out Pryor, back to Cochrane. Short, Vivian, and a good mark.
Courageous mark by Peter Vivian then. I do have a feeling he was off, but he's been given the benefit of the doubt. Shane Butler very quick with that tackle. Vivian, another wobbly screw punt. Lee Stone's first touch since coming on has been paid the mark. Listen to the Panther fans. Kick from Stone, up towards half forward. He'll be looking for Duckworth. At the back is Mousley. Slattery, a shocking bounce, but it allows Hately to come through centre. Well, he doesn't get a good one, but Butler's there for backup support. His kick in towards half forward. McKay at the bottom. Harrington in there, who'll relish being back after injury, and a bounce to take place. Panthers half forward line, they trail by 12 points.
Brooksby it will be against Harrington. No one an actual winner. McKay tries to kick it out of the middle of the pack. Harrington with a handball. McClay met by Bracegirdle, but maintained possession down towards his half-forward line. A great attempt, Norsworthy. Mobbs long to the square, drifts across the face. Oh, it can't come back far enough for Mobbs through for a point, and Central Districts have their second. 2-2-14. South Adelaide 1 point. Mobbs has 1-1.
Dean Mobbs almost could have run another 10 metres too before booting that. Steadied a little more. Clark it will be to the outer side. In front was Jonas, the back Bytheen, between them Bennett. Jeff Baines back towards centre wing. Hately always has the ability to be able to create the space. This occasion is no exception as he drifts it to half forward, and Eddie Fry. Harrington over the back spoils. Wilbur Wilson comes through. The long handball back in towards the centre. Central's the chance with Harrington running. Oh, he's caught. Gets away. A push against Jeff Gillies. He will be free kicked at centre field. Possibly almost overdid the handball on that occasion.
Into the space. George on the long lead. Unloaded by Clark. Jonas in trouble. Mousley there. Duckworth. Ducking and weaving. He goes short, but finds Bracegirdle. Good football so far by both sides, handling the ball very, very well. Charging away is Steve Keane. He goes out wide. Paul Harradine up high. Here's the chance now for Phil Cox. He's got plenty of time as he looks, comes across the half-forward spot. Brooksby front spot. McKay resting on the shoulder, says the umpire. He looked to play on. Yes, he does. Now he's in strife. He breaks clear of the tackle, looks at the goal face, puts it up for a point.
In the meantime, Gary Bracegirdle has left the arena and Robin White has come back onto the ground to stand one Peter Vivian.
It's now Ian Mackay from fullback. We saw him, I think, at Prospect only a couple of weeks ago. Looked to be in fine form in the reserves now. Has the total responsibility to play at fullback against a talented Brooksby as he goes with his drop punt to the corner of the square. Is a good kick. Stone at the back. Norsworthy. Short to the wing. Gillies. Earl, as usual, hot in his hammer, but takes the mark with a handball quickly to Bytheen. In trouble. Stone. Butler. Blinky. In big strife as Norsworthy mows him down and says that's a push on the back.
I don't know who said it's a push in the back. Extraordinary. Looked a brilliant tackle. There's the kick. Harrington setting himself in front of the pack. The man coming over the top of him has been painted in Brooksby. Oh, Hately's created the space in the pocket again. A little too far for him. Harradine through over the line and a throw in to take place. Left forward pocket. A good start to this game. 2 points. South Adelaide Centrals have been able to convert. They're 2-2.
Harrington versus Brooksby. This is Graham Brooksby. Down. Mackay. A short kick towards his half-back line. Vivian. White after him. Over the line it goes. Both wingmen look a little proppy at the moment.
Yes, I've been watching Peter Vivian and he is favouring one leg. We'll have to keep an eye on him. So we watch the throw-in with Bennett and Bytheen. Bennett hands down. Hately. Butler. Fry. Shrugs one tackle. Back to Hately. They could get out of trouble. The kick in towards full forward. Not quite marked. This is Brooksby. Play on is the call. Mackay comes out with a long handball to Harrington. He gets a hurried kick back towards Bytheen and Bennett, and the Central's man successful on this occasion.
Yes, the Central District's defence holding firm at the moment. The drop punt from Pete Bytheen towards his half-forward spot. Over the back was Duckworth. Mown down, picked up quickly, Jonas. Van Dommel has the hordes after him as he's thrown out of the pack. Duckworth trying to break clear, can't do so. Earl over to Keane. Short. Bennett Bytheen. Oh, Bennett gets one round the ears at centre wing and receives the free.
Andrew Bennett. Kick to a lead from Eddie Fry. He's got away from Danny Harrington. Butler and Cochrane. Philip Cox. In trouble. Norsworthy into the back of him, it appeared on that occasion, and now it's gone the other way.
Oh, I think the appeal too. And he won it from the forward pocket.
15 metres for approaching the mark.
It's a pretty good 15 metres too. My next block of land will come from umpire McHugh. And Norsworthy now will take the kick from the half-back flank with a screw punt. Slattery, Mobbs, Earl and Bennett. The receiver, Butler, up high to Mousley and charges away into a space across his half-forward line. He's looking for Cox, won't find him. Vivian comes in very, very quickly. Looks and kicks wide for Mobbs. Butler, Mousley after him. Mousley receives or sees Hately too, and that's a perfectly placed kick. Ron Hately looks as if he could just be feeling that leg too as he tried to chase. Pryor cuts it off. Here's a battle of speed. Mousley and Mobbs. Up high to Earl. Ooh, down, Butler, long, beautifully run. Brooksby, I think it was, to Linky, and Cochrane, and trouble. Wide, Duckworth, Palmer. Oh, great reading of the ball, Max George, puts it up. It's not straight through for a point, and Central Districts had their third on the ball. 2-3-15, South Adelaide 2 points.
The value of the use of the body, perfectly exhibited then by John Duckworth. Gary Clark. Good mark, Peter Bytheen. This is what Centrals want. One grab marks from their number one ruckman today with Maksimovic out. He kicks prodigiously when he gets onto a ball. That is no exception. But he's offline again, and Centrals peppering for 2-4. South are 2 points.
Interesting battle between Bytheen and Bennett. Equally sized and weighted. There they are, the pair of them. There's Brooksby now, or is it Clark? Clark kicks in. The two would battle again. Bytheen picked up quickly across the half-forward line. Stone, Butler, coming in late is Palmer. Baines shrugs off the tackle, did it well to Hately at centre wing, down towards his half-forward line. Linky over the top. Paul Harradine, Wilbur Wilson. Beautiful anticipation onto the left boot, straight down towards the half-forward line. Perfect bit of football, getting it on quickly, down towards George Country. All but Clark under the fall of the ball, a good mark. That's Brooksby.
Brooksby out wide, finding Captain Baines. Swings round now, back towards centre wing, looking for Bennett. Thumped forward by Bytheen, over the line, and a throw-in to take place. No, not out. Kept in by Mousley. Tries to get the handball across, putting a teammate in Bennett in pressure. To centre wing it goes. Linky coming to meet it. This time over the line. There's Jeff Linky. 13 is Schultz. Bennett on the second grab. The left footer. Wilbur spoils again. Schultz appeared to be tackled high and will be free kicked.
The wingman takes him with the left foot. Van Dommel to Jonas. Cox after him. Baines and Van Dommel again. Superior pace over the top of the Panther skipper towards Jonas. Cox comes in after him, but he weaves across his half-forward line. Not well directed. And Stewie Palmer on the chest.
Disgraceful pass between Max George, John Duckworth, and Palmer was there. This is Gary Mousley now. A gingerly looking bounce to half-forward. Wilbur the flyer. Harrington in. Wilson also under bounce to take place. Gary Bracegirdle preparing to make his way back onto the arena. There he is.
And the bounce. Picked up quickly by Cochrane, Stone and Butler. Over the top is Butler, and Lee Stone wins it on the other side of the square. Plays on quickly, down towards his half-forward line. Again Palmer, but getting there late. George after him, and the mark is paid. Good 45, 50 metres out.
The distance may not worry him because, as we know, he's a prodigious kicker of a football, and he has the assistance of what breeze there is. A towering drop punt. No problems with distance, but problems with accuracy. So 2 goals 5 could very easily have been 5 goals 2.
Yes, if my memory serves me properly, Sandy, you mentioned Hately's 8. I think it was Max George with 6-2 at the same game, or was it 5? Here's the kick. Drop punt. Over the top, Clark, flattening the pack. Picked up well. Well, Free's been picked out of that lot. As Max George hands it over. And it's going the way of Daryl Cowie. Haven't seen him on the ball at the moment. It seems as if Bytheen will compete with Bennett. He goes off the ball, so does Bytheen. It's Cowie, ruckman. Not a bad looking kick either. It'll go to the square. Will it go further than that? Yes, says the crowd and the goal umpire. And the third major score for the Bulldogs.
Central Districts 3-5, 23, leading South 2 points on 7s. Big replay.
Daryl Cowie's a deceptive looking player. Angular, tall, thin. Won the mark, but kicked beautifully, and it was a long kick, well placed for his first and Central's third. So they take the lead now, 3-5, convincingly over the Panthers, 2 points.
Centre bounce with Bytheen and Bennett. Nay Van Dommel trying to steal Andy Bennett's tap. Robin White in and out with the ball, but a bounce to take place.
One couldn't ask for a more finely balanced ruck duel between Bennett and Bytheen. The battle of the bees. Over the top, Bytheen. Vivian down, Gillies down, Palmer through, and slams one down towards his half-forward line. Here's a chance for Eddie Fry. He breaks Harrington down and puts up a very high drop punt that will again drift across. Interestingly to note, too, the 3 points that have been kicked by South have all been on those side of the goal face.
2 of them by that man, Eddie Fry. McKay's kick out, grandstand side. Jonas and Richard Cochrane versus Linky. Flick back by McClay, straight onto the chest of Butler. Kicked into a congested half-forward line, looking for Eddie Fry, can't quite find that player. And the Central District's defence, working overtime but working very effectively. Mobbs tries to tap it on, a little too high, allowing Palmer in, across to Butler. He gets a kick out wide. There's a good mark. Play on quickly with a running Bytheen going past. Central Districts look good as they go up towards George, who's got a prop, loses it at the back is Cowie. He's only got a steady, tries to give it to George, who'll be forced onto his left boot, shrugs the tackle, runs his full distance, gives the handball across to Cowie, who's caught, and eventually it's taken over the line for 1 point. Well, that was not constructive football by the Central forwards on that occasion.
Yes, I thought the tackle by the South defender was good. Could have been called holding the ball. And here's the kick from Phil Brooksby. Bytheen and Bennett again. Waiting. Schultz. Out of bounds, and we'll see a throw in. Gathering 45, Jonas. A swift look. Makes Bennett come in over the top, Duckworth. Schultz. Hately. 32 is Van Dommel. Over the line for another throw in.
Bennett using the body, Baines coming over the top to fist it away, but there's Bytheen lurking, a kick behind the play, up towards half forward. Palmer's got away from Duckworth but gets a shocking bounce. Earl goes over the top. Here's a chance for Max George. He's got a shocking fit of the fumbles in all sorts of bother. Cowie is there as well, and they're doing some awful things down in that forward line at the moment. Out wide, Vivian the chance. Can he get away from Butler? I fear he may not. Has to get a hurried kick and finds Jonas.
Well played, Shane Butler. Wouldn't allow Vivian through. He had to go backwards. It was successful to this man, Jonas. He's in the true half-forward position, about 50 metres out. A nice-looking screw punt. That'll bend back, too, into the square. A massive players and a flyer. At the back is Cowie.
Darryl Cowie, yes, we saw in the reserve some weeks ago. Performed admirably, gets the opportunity today. And what's a name? John Duckworth. That's the nickname he has at the moment, Bulldog Land. Giving all the encouragement to the youngster. Be a handy goal. He makes no mistake about it. Central Districts marching on. 4-6, 30 points. South, 3 points on 7s. Big replay.
It's a big kick from Jonas. A screw punt that bent back into the square. A massive players and a fine pair of hands. Darryl Cowie is the owner. Pulled down a very strong mark, and he's got himself 2 goals in this first term to put Central Districts 4-6, 30 points ahead of the Panthers, who've yet to score a major, 3 points.
27 points is a good start in anyone's language. Very handy lead as Bennett wins the tap on this occasion. Chris McClay has his head partly taken off and will be free kicked. 15. So it brings young Chris McClay right in the middle of Adelaide Oval. The beautiful screw punt. The back, here's Cowie again with Gary Clark. Clark getting the favourable bounce, heading towards the boundary line with a disgraceful handball, allowing Gillies in. The quick handball comes across for George. He can't handle it though, and Clark will get the Panthers out of trouble momentarily as he comes to half back. Running through Norsworthy. He loses it, and a free kick will go the Panthers' way. To be taken by Philip Collins.
Oh, and didn't he have to work hard too? At the bottom of the pack, a very small player out wide. He was looking for Mousley, won't find him though. Picks up Schultz.
Not a lot of cohesion in the south side at the moment.
From centre wing, short, Jonas.
This is
the player that pumped in a beautiful screw pump only moments ago for Cowie to take a nice mark in the square. See when he tries it again. Yes, there's the screw punt. And that is a boomer. No mark. George could have tapped the post for a point. 4-7 Centrals. South Adelaide 3 points.
Brooksby this time to kick back into play. Bennett going with Bythene. And the bounce to take place. Line ball. No way known. The little fella could get rid of that with that tackle put on him. It's on Central's half-forward line. It's been there most of the term. Norsworthy in trouble. Gets a short kick away, however. Jonas, Baines and Clark. Jeff Baines can't keep it in. In fact, he'll be quite pleased anyway, I'd imagine, to see it go over the line. Coming towards the end of this term and a most successful one so far for Central Districts. Bennett caught, gets it across to Baines, a short kick, smothered by Mobbs. In now Jeff Gillies, a sweeping long handball taken by David Earl. Flicks it back to the half-back line, not a well-directed kick. And there's a great mark by Schultz going into the pack. Stood his ground, however, and he has the chance to score.
Wasn't a great mark, stood there. Body coming at him, eye on the ball, and took a great mark. With this breeze, with the screw punt to the square at the back, Wall picked it up cleverly. Van Dommel put it up very high. Has he bent it back enough? Yes, fine goal.
Tremendous goal by Jeff Gillies, I think it was, or was it Rene Van Dommel? Rene Van Dommel, a tremendous effort, and what a handy one for Centrals.
That was typical. And Schultz too would be pleased after the great mark, good kick to the square, and a typical Rover scouting the pack, picked it up quickly, one step and kicked it very high, and we had to wait for it to come down for the result. It was his goal. 5-7 South, 3 points.
Bythene. Bennett won by the latter as the siren sounds to end a very good first term for the visiting side. Centrals 5-7-37, leading South 3 points on sevens. Big replay.
Open the second term, and again Bennett and Bythene pulled out. Norsworthy getting it over quickly, out wide towards Cox. Slammed forward by Paul Harradine, through the gate, over the line for a throw-in. Score at quarter time, 5-7, 37, and South Adelaide have yet to put a goal on the board, 3 points.
Bythene, they've been winning the Rucks and Roving division, getting them all away, particularly their run-on players, as Mousley is caught. Haitley tackles Stone and wins it for holding the ball. Ron Haitley just forward of centre. South this term kicking to the Torrens end, desperately wanting goals. The lead by Eddie Fry is ignored. He goes deeper than that. Harrington is the flyer at the back. Wilbur. Schultz calling for it. Has to wait for the bounce, but gets away. Comes to centre wing. Jonas pushed out by Mousley. Baines is at the back. Short to Bracegirdle.
Very skillful left footer then by the captain. Saw Gary Bracegirdle. He's been used in the first term off the bench by Coach Bunton in spurts. Here's the drop punt. Oh, Eddie Fry cleverly reading from the back of the pack and puts it straight across the face of goals to see it tumble through for yet another point to the Panthers, and that's their fourth. 5-7 Centrals, 4 points South, and 3 points to Eddie Fry.
Ian McKay doing his own retrieving. Centrals prior to today's game had slipped to fourth on the ladder. McKay, a booming drop punt, a beautiful kick. Harrington used the body but couldn't complete the mark. Philip Cox pushing the ball out in front of him towards Butler, hugging the boundary line. Oh, handball from Gillies goes straight to Jeff Baines. He kicks it up in towards Fry and Stone once again, but the boundary line too close and another throw in.
Central District so far have played good football, a lot of strength coming from their rucks and followers. Bythene, Brooksby. Bythene at the bottom of that pack, trying to get it out. Maintained control of the ball, was grabbed and receives the free in the back pocket. Long to a wall of South Adelaide players strung across the centre line. Baines waits, a lot of juggling going on. Jonas receives, can't do that. He's got to go back over the mark to take his kick from his half-back line. Now gets on with it, the handball. Long, half forward, Duckworth on the chest. Been a strong point, and Central Districts have looked for him at the half-forward spot. He goes long, here's a one-on-one battle. Clark versus Cowie. Cowie, as a matter of fact, has 2 goals, and 2 good goals in the first term, and Clark's had his hands full with him.
Right forward pocket, Central Districts attacking. It's they who've been doing that for the bulk of this game. Brooksby, but straight to Van Dommel. A quick handball across to Jeff Gillies. A high ball. Rene Van Dommel stands underneath it. Philip Cox in trouble, gets the handball away. And Central Districts back towards Jeffrey Baines.
South Adelaide not running enough. Kicking to position, but players not running away from that position as they go down. Harradine over the back, well stolen. Pryor gets it over. Short, well directed, trying to find George, can't do so. Central Districts in a little bit of strife now as the half-back line begin to tighten for the Panthers, and a mass of players there, and we'll see a bounce.
One change that has been made, Max George has been brought out to the half-forward line with Daryl Cowie going back to fill the full-forward spot.
Duckworth up, Van Dommel, a chance. Clark under the fall of the ball, well read too, Gary Clark. Has Keane running, uses him up, puts him into the pocket. Hately points, but goes over his head. Slattery and Mackay. Fine mark, Wayne Slattery.
Had a very quiet first term, Dennis, only 1 kick. That's looking straight down the chest of Danny Harrington. He can't read it properly, however. Mark Pryor is at the back. Flicks a high ball back. Slattery again. Linky also. Shot out towards Harrington, in trouble. Across to Riley, replacing Mobbs. There's a chance for Schultz. Former Panther player finds Max George.
Yes, Central District's playing better possession football at the moment. They've got more players running, making the space as Cowie takes off. That's the way that he goes. Clark now falling back. Duckworth, Palmer, Earl. In big strife as he's dumped. And a clever bit of tackling, too, by Jeff Gillies. In a very important area for the Bulldogs, about 15 metres out, slight angle directly in front of goal.
And can't you just see the confidence growing within the Central Districts players?
Yes, they're running. South Adelaide beginning to chase jumpers and to play defensive football will put them into trouble as Jeff Gillies puts it up and straight through the centre for Central District's 6th goal.
Centrals, 6-7, 43. Leading South a merry dance here at Adelaide Oval. 4 points on 7's big replay.
Yes, and a superb bit of football then, putting their game, and a very worried coach Hayden Bunton, wondering what he can do to make his players run and cover these little players that are making the space for Central Districts so well in their forward zone.
Centre bounce once again with Bennett and Bytheen. As we see on so many occasions, Central's winning it away from centre, but Brooksby in front of George on that occasion. It's Phillip to half forward. Cochrane the flyer, virtually unattended.
He's played a pretty good game too on Jeff Linky. He's cut him off there. It's possibly one of the reasons why South Adelaide aren't dominating their half forward line. Harrington down, George, Earl picked up, Brooksby wide, looking for Steve Keane. After him, Rufus Riley. Oh, Earl goes in strongly and takes out 2 players, 1 of each, to Vivian. Plenty of time. Left boot, Clark. Strong approach, will drop what he should have taken on the chest. Over to Gillies. 2 goals, 2 minutes.
Well, Jeff Gillies, an extraordinary running performance, and the confidence really seething now here at Adelaide Oval with the Centrals fans and the players.
Yes, started from Vivian with the left footer. Clark should have taken it on the chest. It bounced off him. George, Duckworth, and then Gillies. Picked it up quickly, and in 2 minutes, Jeff Gillies has kicked 2 goals, and Central District certainly looked the goods. 7-7, South Adelaide, 4 points.
Centre bounce once again. Rob Hawkins has come from the interchange bench. So it may give Peter Bytheen a spell on the ball. We'll have to wait and see. Norsworthy at the bottom and another bounce to take place. In fact, yes. Bytheen going down for a spell in the pocket, and Darryl Cowie winning his first tap. Jonas out for Schultz. Centrals forward again. David Earl. A high ball. Eddie Fry, great mark.
It was a great mark too. Eddie Fry has kicked 3 points. He's on the corner of the square. He's got Brooksby at full forward. The kick will fall short. And a valiant attempt by Harradine. Can't do much. Harrington picks it up quickly. Straight across. Schultz. Been a great back with Hately. Wilbur Wilson flicking it up. Brace girdle. Wilbur maintains balance. Cochrane. Jonas. Baines. Harrington. Brushes off Hawkins. Down towards his half-forward spot. Good bit of football to Duckworth.
Gee, they're playing well. John Duckworth is at half-forward. He goes for the handball to Jonas, running past again. Well done, John Duckworth. Look at the pace this man has. But John, an atrocious kick for goal. You've gone out of bounds on the full.
He certainly pumped that ball. Straight over into the cheer squad. Gary Clark waiting patiently as it comes back. Pete Bytheen says, cover everybody, and that's just what Central Districts are doing, and doing it well so far in this game. From back pocket, a beautiful screw punt, carries about 60 metres into the square. Hawkins can't read it. Slattery can. Taps well to Hately. Towards the half-forward spot, Cochrane. Brooksby. Now Eddie Fry. Has Brace Girdle running. Uses up the nippy little player. He goes short. Too short. Bennett. Baines. Rufus Riley covers. Eddie Fry. Oh, untidy football, hard stuff, and we'll see a bounce.
There we saw a classic example of South Adelaide mucking around with the ball. Unnecessary handball. Should be kicking long. It's the tap, Eddie Fry taking it and getting away with a left footer up towards half forward. Slattery front spot. Well paid. But he's won the free kick. I think the South fans were calling for the mark. So Wayne Slattery now a chance. Some 1.5 terms of football gone for South Adelaide's first goal. This kick, he's pulled it. Is it coming back? Not enough. And another point on the board. What a dismal looking scoreboard it is for the Panthers.
Oh, the enthusiasm of the Central District's defence. 3 men close to the mark then, all yelling and shouting. Shouldn't make that much difference though. Ian Mackay. Towards Hawkins at the back. Earl. Flicked out. Van Dommel. Back. Cochrane. And McLeay. Short looking for Jonas. Finds Hately. He's in the centre of the square. It looks like he's lost a little bit of zip too, because he normally would play on after a mark of that sort. Down towards with a screw punt. Tapped forward. A massive players around the fall of the ball. And we'll see a bounce.
Real desperation by the Central District's defence. Some advice coming from the crowd here at Adelaide Oval. Bennett over the top, taken by Wilson. Towards the boundary line, in fact, over the line on the full. But was it touched off the boot? We'll have to wait and see.
Slattery doesn't think so. He's lining up very quickly for the kick.
There's one player that could boot it too. Deadly in front of goals. He hasn't had too many kicks to date so far.
Yes, it'll be a check sider that he'll need. As you can see, standing on the line. Undecided. Going for a drop punt. Now the check side goes for it. Oh, kicked it right in the middle of the ball, but Eddie Fry, it was Cox that couldn't take it. Vivian's in strife. Dave Earl dumps him, and the man that normally plays on a half-back flank is almost in the forward pocket with a chance to kick a goal, and it will be the first one for the Panthers in 1 quarter and 12 minutes of football.
The distance, 40 metres. David Earl should not have any trouble with this.
It'd be ironic if the forwards can't kick them, the half-backs can.
I've got an idea you're spot on, because that's exactly what's happened. David Earl's first and South Adelaide's first goal. 1-5, trailing Central 7-7 on sevens. Big replay.
Well, it's been messy football by the South Adelaide forwards. They just don't seem to be able to get a clear channel of attack. And it was left now to David Earl to come down. The kick from Slattery, marked it and kicked it truly for South Adelaide's first. 1-5, trailing Central's 7-7.
Centre bounce once again will find Cowie and Hawkins, two ruck rookies. Jeff Baines taking it away from centre out towards Eddie Fry. Loses it. It is free kick for being held.
Will that one goal lift a flagging half-forward line for the Panthers? With a booming screw punt, put it straight to the square, a massive players over the top. Well-read Danny Harrington, puts it out towards Norsworthy. Slattery again, picked it up cleverly, onto the left boot, tries to pull it way back, and a fine mark in Mackay. Play on, says the umpire. The push in the back could be a leveller, as I thought that was the mark. It's going to go to the fullback's way after a bit of struggling in the square.
Yes, you're quite right. Plays on quickly. The handball comes away from Norsworthy towards the half-back line. Pushing picked up again, this time going the way of the little fella right at the bottom, and Bracegirdle. The lead is on. He's looking for it. It's a shocking kick. South Adelaide have not been able to do a lot right today. Schultz across to Wilbur. Wilbur's down at centre wing, the little back pocket player. Now he goes to half forward. Duckworth uses the body illegally, according to the umpire, and Stuart Palmer will take the free ball
from half-back. A lot of South players using the screw punt now, which is a difficult ball to control. Schultz, again, back to where it came from. Gillies, and a good mark. 2 goals, Jeff Gillies, as a matter of fact. Kicked both in the second quarter. Over the top. Steve Keane has Butler running. He uses the left boot down towards the square. Bytheen. Forward, Vivian. With plenty of time to look. A bit of strong body work going on as Robin White hits the dust. Hawkins.
He's at half-back. A wobbly old kick. Lee Stone straight off the chest, but recovers well and gets the screw punt up to half forward, where it's taken on the chest by Renee Van Dommel. Cowie going back into the square. That's the player he'll look for. Cowie and Clark, both of similar build. Waiting down Mousley. Here's danger man Gillies in front of goals. Steve Keane in trouble. And a bounce to take place.
South Adelaide looks sluggish at the moment, not prepared to chase or check, even create the space. Central District's exactly the opposite. Plenty of enthusiasm. Duckworth, Palmer. Down towards Baines. Hawkins, Jonas. McClay short, perfectly placed kick. Gillies.
This is where he kicked his last one from. Exactly the same place. Centrals are preparing for an interchange. Max George, who has not been able to get into the game at all, is leaving the arena to be replaced by Dean Mobbs. And Jeff Gillies has not kicked well on that occasion, 1 point only, to take them to 7-8. South are 1-5, Mobbs back on the ground.
Yes, I'm not looking that sprightly. Clark. Oh, has a kick to himself. Long. The centre circle, Pryor, and a good one. Lately unsighted by the sun. He plays on quickly. Out wide, here's Mobbs that just came on. Harradine under the hammer. Oh, 2 Central District players collide, but Paul Harradine has the ball.
First kick of the game to Harradine. Andrew Bennett. Probably tried to kick it a fraction hard towards Wilson and Bracegirdle, but Little beat them both over the line, and a throw-in to take place.
Here's the throw-in. Bennett versus Bytheen. The take, Stephen Riley. Fit of the fumbles, puts a ball up. Pryor, Butler mows him down afterwards. To Gillies. Mousley won't be able to catch him. Left-handed handball, Stone in trouble, recovers. Riley, Vivian, into the square and pulls away with enormous pace. Mobs.
Beautiful football, Central Districts. The skipper wastes no time because there are loose men everywhere. Then we go into the open goal. Thank you very much, says Central Districts, and it's ever so easy for Jonas.
Well, Stone, the player that pulled out of the square, popped it over. A perfectly placed kick to Mobs. Mobs saw Jonas running, and Jonas made about 40 metres to get there. I thought he'd stop to come back and take his kick. No way, he was off and straight through the centre for his first and Central District's 8th. 8-8-56, South Adelaide 1 goal 5, and Central District's playing superb football.
Mousley off, Linky on. Centre bounce. Hawkins, Bythene coming back for a run, tries to take it away, couldn't do so. Stephen Riley through across to Richard Cochran. South having to chase. Jeff Gillies is covering an extraordinary amount of territory. Up forward, he's got Cowie. Going shorter than that. Centrals have won the free kick again. This is Norsworthy. Within scoring distance, I would suggest.
Yes, desperation and frustration beginning to creep into the South Adelaide defence, grabbing jumpers, and can't do much about it as Central District's players flooding their forward lines unchecked. So it'll be Norsworthy now facing the goals. The kick hasn't gone right, it's gone short, and Mousley finds himself in trouble. Out comes Brooksby, that's Philip Brooksby. Jonas, man of the moment. Round, short, Mobs. These two were combining for the last goal, and he's put it up very, very high, straight across the face of goals, out of bounds on the full, and we'll see a kick in from Steve Keane.
What breeze there is here at Adelaide Oval, certainly having no effect whatsoever on Central District's game. They've added 3-3 this term to South Adelaide's 1 goal 2. Their desire for the ball much greater than that of the Panthers.
And we'll see a bounce. Rene Van Dommel, Jonas, waits, down, Gillies with absolute strength, bursts through the bottom of the pack, flicking it up, Jonas, Palmer in trouble, and again untidy football, tight hard stuff on the Central District's half forward line, and we'll see another bounce.
South certainly not prepared to run, tackle, get in front at the moment. Duckworth with strength. Puts Rene Van Dommel in the spot of bother. Norsworthy does it well across to Gillies. He's in trouble though. Good tackle by Keane, socket off the ground towards Shane Butler. And a free kick is going against South Adelaide.
Yes, the signal was a knee being dropped into the player, which is unusual in a pack.
This is Stephen Riley. The drop punt into the square. Mobs couldn't quite complete it. Jonas is there. Cowie thumps it out. Looking for Jonas, but he's found Chris McClay, who flicks it back. And on the last line of defence, wingman Shane Butler takes it.
See from the post just how far he's way out of position. Tugged there by the pressure that Central Districts are beginning to apply. Eddie Fry on the half back line now. Trouble, back, Cox, Fry, down to a rather nude-looking half-forward line for South Adelaide, and it's Wilbur Wilson. Casually takes the mark, only 2 players in the forward zone for the Panthers at the moment, as Bything goes across the square, sweeps one out, that Danny Harrington down there, Dave Earl with plenty of time. Now looks to Butler. Short, brace girdle, over the top of him, back to him, Cochran after him, Van Dommel on the bottom, and we'll see a bounce.
8-8 to 1-5. Central's leading. The league leaders not looking good at the moment. Hawkins winning that one. Duckworth through. Hawkins again. Loses it. I would suggest another bounce.
Yes, and a stunned silence from the South Adelaide supporters. I should imagine they're in for a cooking at half-time. Coach Hayden Bunton desperate to try and get some momentum in. Central Districts have got it as Jonas playing a superb game in the first half. Tried to barge everybody through, complete miss, and Jeff Baines will take the free from the bottom of the pack.
It's almost as if it's tired of having a bounce, so we'll give someone a free kick. The half forward, McClay, will be the flyer. Back is Stone. There's a chance now for South Adelaide. No, they've lost it. Stone, he's got a weight, pushes it on to Bytheen. Quickly, he's got the run of Vivian. Here he goes, through centre, towards half forward. These two have had a good duel, Palmer and Duckworth. Duckworth has the strength. Baines has to wait. It's a kick away, and the mark has been paid to Slack.
Yes, grab one up in possession. Wilbur Wilson hanging onto the ball dangerously and concedes 15 metres.
As Bracegirdle comes off and Philip Collins on.
Slattery with a kick. Drop punt. Easier ball to control. Massive players rise. Central Districts defending grimly. Wayne Pryor's played a superb game in defence. Cochrane.
It was interesting then, Dennis, to notice 3 Central Districts players lunge on that ball. There was no way known they wanted that to be held by a South Adelaide player with a chance of 6 points going on the board.
Ian Mackay. Kick falls short. Renee Van Dommel. Collins fresh off the bench. Butler. Cochrane trying to get it out. A clash of bodies. Bennett's on the top of the Central Districts player, and we'll see a bounce. Since Bennett's gone off the ball, South Adelaide seem to have lost a lot of momentum around the pack as well. Central Districts working very hard. Top, Bytheen, Bennett. Brooksby is 12, 30 is Ian Mackay, a long way from full back at the moment, but obviously following, and we'll see a bounce.
A very important game for Centrals to win, because if they are victorious today, they could just about be guaranteed a place in the 5. From the bounce, Mark Pryor, whom we've mentioned is playing a superb game. Well taken, Stephen Riley. Cross centre wing, Jonas used the body beautifully. Cleverly takes a one-hander. Duckworth loose at half forward, but he's got to wait for it. Coming through strongly, Stephen Keane. That's determination. Perhaps that'll set an example to half forward. The back, Hawkins the chance. It's caught, tries to get it to Slattery. Chris McClay, Richard Cochrane, Danny Harrington. A bad bounce, but he's got Schultz for backup support. The long handball to Bytheen. Oh, he fists it straight to Shane Butler. That was a mistake, and he'll be free kicked.
An intelligent free kick given away then. The foot was grabbed. Certainly Shane Butler was off. Didn't like the attention that Pete Bytheen gave him, but the wingman has won the free at half forward. No movement. Will have to kick long. Once again, a massive players. Front spot, Hawkins. Can't do much. Linky waits, tries to pull it out of the pack. Oh, goes with a soccer and a goal.
Jeff Linky, the player who went for the desperate soccer, and if ever South needed a goal, it was then.
Well, the long kick from Butler came in. A massive players. High rise, no one can grab it. The ball to ground, and the desperate boot of Jeff Linky straight through the ball, straight through the goals. His first, and South Adelaide second. 2-6, Central Districts 8-8.
Centre bounce once again. Bytheen up a yard over Andrew Bennett, and let's see if he can do the same thing again.
Sandy Bennett has had a superb season so far. Peter Bytheen really taking him on today. Again, a high lift forward. Collins. There's a good example of Central District determination. Chris McClay, head at ankle level, receives the free. He'll go towards half forward with a drop punt. Mobbs will be the danger player at the back. Spoiled. Schultz beautifully read off hands. Goes short, looking for the duck. Can't find him. In goes Gillies, grabbed. Fry to centre square. Bit of grabbing going on before the push was there, and Ian Mackay will win his free at the south end of the square.
I think a few Panther supporters are going to go home quite hoarse if this keeps up. Mackay. Not a well-directed ball, but just about fine. Schultz. 11th kick to the former Panther. the kick up towards the half-forward line. Clark, his name on that one.
Yes, one grab. South Adelaide beginning to settle somewhat. Dean Mobbs coming over the mark and concedes 15 metres, giving the chance for the Central District's backs to check. So Gary Clark will be forced to kick from half-back. No leads. Skipper Baines has booed it long. Tries to go short. Jonas. Had a bag of kicks so far in this game. Very well as a follower, done everything right. Down towards his half-forward spot. Palmer. Forwarded. Vivian. Steve Riley. Back to Vivian. He'll be looking for Norsworthy. Further than that, Mobbs and Clark. And Clark plucks one off the top, and that's a good mark.
Yes, a good mark by Gary Clark. His kick in towards the centre. Pushed out towards Schultz. A good tackle on that play. He loses the ball. Richard Cochran fists it intelligently to Norsworthy. Oh, he props one up, and Mobbs gets there. There's the siren. The siren has sounded, and Dean Mobbs has the opportunity to put a goal on the board. He's some 45 metres out on a slight angle.
And quite possible.
The kick from the Central's captain has gone in for the long break on a high note. Central Districts, with that goal on the siren, go to 9 goals 8. 9-8, leading South 2-6 on sevens. Big replay.